Hi, this is Debbie Baker. I'm glad to see you, metaphorically speaking. It's nice to be back in front of the camera. So I had something that I've been wanting to talk about for a while, and actually I did a video on this subject, and it was terrible. Well, you were lucky enough not to have seen it. But often in times in my probate work, people want to know how they transfer title to a car. And it's a pretty interesting topic because it's really not that complicated, but it's worth knowing about. So forgive me in advance for looking at some notes. Um, Most people love cars. I don't love cars. I would rather never have one in my whole life. But most people love cars, or they at least understand that why they have to have it. So the next few minutes, we're just going to talk about what the Florida laws are in relation to titles and cars. People ask, can a creditor take your car? No. If you owe credit money on a credit card and you die and you've got a car loan, unless you bought it with your credit cards, which actually I bought my first card on my credit card, um, the credit card company has no rights to the car. Now, if you're paying a car loan company like Capital One or whoever else finances cars, they have a right to the car. And if payments are not made, they can repossess the car. So you just want to be aware. Something else is if you own the car with another person, that you own, the title is in two names, that other person gets to own the car if you pass. Now, I know somebody, have a client who had a terrible experience with owning a car with somebody else. He owned a car with his son. I think he bought it with his son when his son was appreciably younger, and it improved the kid's credit and got him a lower interest rate. The challenge was the car was in an accident, and the person in the accident sued. So this gentleman decided he'd never own a car again in two names. So if you owned a car in one name and you did die and you had a spouse, the spouse would have first claim to the car. But again, owned jointly by husband and wife, the surviving spouse gets it. What happens to a person's car insurance after they die? I actually had never thought of this before. But the recommendation is that you call the insurance company to find out if you have a family plan or an individual plan. Because if you have an individual plan, you do not want anybody driving that car because they are not covered. If you have a family plan, you're likely okay. But if somebody dies who owns a car, one of the first things you want to do is call the insurance, who's ever holding the insurance, and finding out, is it okay? I've had clients who take keys away. I've had clients who have, disconnected things, hide keys, because it's not even smart to back it out of a driveway and back it in just to be sure the motor still runs, but it's sure not smart to take it to a grocery store only 2 blocks away unless you know it's safe to drive. Who gets the car? Well, whoever you designate. And if you've designated somebody in a will to get your car, the thing I learned is you don't want to say they get my 2022 Toyota Corolla. That happens to be what I own now. You want to say they get my vehicle because there is no telling what vehicle you will own when you pass. And by not being specific, the person you want to get the vehicle is in a better position to get it. Now, if there are multiple beneficiaries of an estate, it may be that people have to sign off on whomever you've designated getting the vehicle, but that's not a difficult situation. You go down to your local Department of Motor Vehicles or your local tax collector, which I think is the place you go in Hillsborough County anyway, and you get the proper documents signed and title is passed. Can't really pass the title until, if you've got a probate estate, until it's settled, but at least you can know what you have to do to get it done. Let's see, what else did I have here? Not part of a probate estate, just take the death certificate and the title And there's a way that's probably different in each state about how, if you can't find a title, how you would verify that it belonged to the person you're claiming. You would check that out with your local motor vehicles department. So just some final thoughts, which I need to look at, because just to see what my final thoughts are. It should be pretty easy to transfer title. I've had a couple of states where there's one beneficiary and one car, and they didn't need me. It's one of my favorite places. I talked them out of needing me. It took the will and the death certificate and the title down to the proper location, and they got the title transferred. Other places is a little more complex, but it's really not hard. So if you're up against the fact that somebody you love has died and wanted you to have the car, you can get it done pretty easily. And if you have more questions, you can go to the DMV or you can call me. Thanks. We hope you like, comment, and share, and have a great day.